Hey friends, happy Monday Night Live this week. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you all have had a pleasant weekend. The weather here was great most of the weekend in Southeast Michigan. Made it home from Texas super late Thursday night, so I'm glad to have been here. Now, I have been going live every Sunday or Monday since the beginning of April now, and I've been talking a lot about self-trust, staying, emotional discomfort, and why so many women keep leaving things they actually care about. I've done the same thing. One thing I've really realized is that a lot of these women think they have a discipline problem, and they don't. It's not actually the problem. What if the real issue is that when something gets hard, we want to start over? That's the part nobody really talks about, is it? I think this is where so many women lose trust in themselves, too. They tend to leave because something happened, and they made it mean something. And maybe it really didn't mean anything, but it did to them. For example, you have one bad day. You miss a workout, skip a workout, eat off plan, lose a pet that you weren't expecting to. And instead of saying, oh man, this was just really a hard day, it becomes, here we go again. I knew I couldn't do this. I always mess up. And in that moment, you emotionally leave. And you say, I'm going to start over. Because starting over feels good. I like getting a new planner. I love planners. But I've got a bunch of them that maybe were wrote in a month and never wrote in again. You feel better when you have a new planner, a new promise, a fresh start, but you're back in that same cycle, right? That cycle of continuing to start over, because we are professionals at starting over. If you've ever done this when you had a bad day, say me in the comments, because I know it's many of us that this has happened to. Another example is like the slowdown, right? You're doing so good, but then things just kind of slowed. Like maybe your weight plateaued in your diet program. You have not seen a breakthrough in a while. There's no instant result, because we all want instant results right away, just like that. So that takes away some of the excitement. And instead of saying, hey, you know what, this is normal, because guess what, it is normal. You think something's wrong, it's not working, maybe I should quit. So you leave, not because you failed, but because slow felt unsafe, right? Slow felt unsafe because you don't know what happens on the other side of staying when something is slow. And we remember from the past that our brains want to keep us safe. So our brains just want us to start over because that's what we know, that's exciting, and we've done it repeatedly. Now, let me just say this. Slow does not mean stuck. If you are moving slow, that does not mean you're stuck. Yes, there are times where slow means stuck, but for the majority of the situations that we are going through, slow does not mean stuck. Another thing, life gets really messy. The kids get sick. You lose someone. Like I lost Boyd this past week, and I'm still grieving the loss of my sweet puppy. But I got my other one right here. Work can get crazy. You get exhausted, right? Who doesn't get exhausted? And real life just happens. Life happens. We cannot control everything that happens in our life. And that can make us feel uncomfortable, especially at times where it is just messy. It's the messy middle, what's going on. So instead of just adjusting, what do you think you do? You say, well, now I'm off plan. This week is ruined. I need to start over. And what could have just been a short pause turns into a full emotional exit. And let me just say this, friend. Life gets messy a lot. and it does not mean you failed. Messy does not mean you failed. I talk about the messy middle all the time. A lot of times when people are posting stuff like, oh, you can make $40,000 this month by posting 5 times a day on Instagram. I love when they're the ones that say, these are the AI prompts I used. And for some reason, maybe it's just me, but it's the same 5 AI prompts every time I look at them. Because I've tried to, screenshot a few and keep some because I'm like, oh, maybe that could work. But it's the same ones. But what these people are not telling you is what happened in the messy middle, that bridge that got them from where they started to where they are now. So the problem is that we look at that as humans and we see, oh, she went from this to this. She used these 5 prompts. Everything works great. She's making all this money. That means I should too. And if after 2 weeks I have not gone viral, or less, because we want everything instant, I've not gone viral, I don't see $1, I must be doing something wrong, and I'm just gonna quit and start over. Okay? All that means is that you're human. Now, another big one is discomfort. So you start something that actually matters, and suddenly you feel resistance, fear, self-doubt, awkwardness, and uncertainty. And this would be very, very common discomfort feelings. And instead of thinking this is growth, because remember, you just started something that actually matters. This is something you have not done before. The chance of there not being any kind of discomfort is slim to none if it's something that actually matters. So instead of saying this is growth, you think, maybe this isn't for me. So you leave because discomfort feels like danger. But danger and discomfort are not the same thing. That matters to understand the difference between discomfort and danger. I did 2 weeks ago, my live was about fear versus intuition to tell you the difference, so that you know when something is actually fear or danger, as well as what your actual intuition is feeling, and can help you as well also with discomfort. Now let's talk about the next one, which is pretty sneaky. This is a sneaky one. It's called the identity hit, okay? One mistake does not feel like a mistake, okay? It becomes, I'm doing it again. I'll never change. I knew I'd fail at this. And that is when women quit. Because we didn't realize that one mistake was just that, just a mistake. We took it as a be-all, end-all. And that meant we needed to quit because we weren't going to change and we automatically failed because of that one mistake. And let me tell you that I am a big one that I had when it came to making a mistake. It was an automatic, I failed. That's how it used to be. Rather than, let me just work at this a little harder. Maybe you to use another angle so that I can realize it was just a mistake. I didn't need to start over and do all the same stuff so I could end up back in the same spot I'm at right now. Instead, I moved forward because what we make that mistake mean will determine whether or not we choose to start over or we choose to stay and continue growing. Now, this is a big one, and trust me, I get it too. I totally understand. And we've talked about it before, but it's the restart high. Nobody tells you about it because restarting just feels so good. I guess maybe most people actually are telling you about it because everyone is telling you how to restart or reset or redo this or that. You got a new Monday, a new notebook, a new planner, a new promise. And let me tell you, like I said, new planners, notebooks. I am a huge office supply nerd. I love office supplies. When it's back to school time, I load up on those 70-page notebooks that I used to be able to get for 10 cents a piece. I think they're like 25 cents a piece now. Only right before school starts. I don't know. I just have this thing about office supplies. I thought I was going to have to buy new pens, and I just found 3 packs of pens that I totally forgot I had, which is a good thing because I needed them. But when you have a new notebook, a new planner, a new routine, a new promise, okay, it feels productive, hopeful, and exciting. But the restart itself, the restart is often what resets the momentum. So, because you keep going back to day 1, and instead of learning to stay on day 17, you go back to day 1 because that's where your momentum is. Restarting resets your momentum instead of learning how to stretch your momentum as you go further into what you're doing. Because then all that's going to happen, right? We're going to restart, and then we're going to get to day 17 again, and maybe we'll make it to 18. But then it gets slow again, something's boring, it's messy, and we love the way restarting makes us feel because it feels good and it resets our momentum. So we need to learn how to use our momentum through all of that, to keep the momentum going through all the difficult stuff. And it's not going to be every day, right? It is boring, and it is going to be messy. So the real issue, like I said earlier, isn't actually discipline. The issue is what happens in the moment life gets messy, slow, uncomfortable, or hard. Because in that moment, that is where you either build self-trust or you break it. Okay? A lot of women think they need more discipline. A lot of women. When all they actually need is to stop making one hard moment feel like they failed. Wow. Let me say that again. A lot of women think they need more discipline when what they actually need is to stop making one hard moment mean they failed. Self-trust is not built because life goes perfectly. It's built because you stay through the part that makes you question yourself. Okay? That is how trust gets built. Not in perfection, in staying. So honestly, let me just say, this is why I actually created the No Restart Required, the Break the Cycle experience. I was originally going to call it a challenge, but this does not feel like a challenge. It feels like a true 5-day experience because I know so many women, you are not lazy. You are just stuck in an emotional cycle. And this free 5-day experience is going to help you understand why you keep leaving, why it's actually happening, and how to build the self-trust to stay. That sounds like something you need. Comment stay below, and I'll send you the details because the trainings will be right here in this group. And if you're actually watching this on the replay, of course, I'd love for you to put in #replay, but comment stay also because I will send you the details too. We can't always make things live, so it's good if we can watch on the replay. Now, remember, one bad day does not mean you failed. Slow does not mean stuck. And you do not have to keep restarting to change your life. Sometimes you just need to learn how to stay. Good night, friends.